If you've ever been told that your messaging problem is actually a niche problem, this episode is going to reframe something very important for you. Hi, I'm Cindy Gordon, a selective visibility strategist and business mentor. I built and sold multiple business, and I'm the founder of the Unmistakable Movement. And the pattern that I'm about to describe is one of the most common things that I see derailing online business owners who are already doing everything right on paper. My Thursday newsletter reaches over 1,500 entrepreneurs who want strategic thinking and not just more content. Link is in the show notes if you would like to join us. Here's the scenario. You've done the niche work, you know who you serve, you have an offer that solves a real problem for a specific real person, your content is consistent, your messaging hits all the pain points, and still something isn't connecting. Sales feel harder than they should be. Your audience engages but doesn't move on anything. You have followers, but not really buyers. So you go back to the niche. You tighten it up. You niche down a little bit further. You rewrite your bio for the fourth time to maybe be a little bit more specific about who you help. And then nothing shifts. Because the problem was never your niche. Your audience isn't confused about who you serve. They're confused about who you are. And those are two completely different problems with two entirely different solutions. You can have the most dialed in niche in your industry and still have an audience that won't buy from you because the niche tells them who you help, but it doesn't tell them why you're the one that they should trust. Niche clarity and identity clarity are not the same thing. Your niche tells your audience who you serve and what problem you solve. The identity tells them who you are, your positions, your opinions, your specific way of seeing the world, the things that you believe that no one else in your space is saying. You can actually have a perfectly clear niche with zero identity clarity. And when that's the case, your audience knows what you do. They just don't know if they trust you enough to buy what you're selling. Trust doesn't come from a niche specifically. It comes from voice consistency. It comes from watching someone show up with the same convictions over and over and over again in different formats across different topics and recognizing that, yes, that's the same person. That person has a point of view, and I know what they stand for. When you've outsourced your voice to AI or spent so long creating content that the algorithm has forgotten what you actually think, your audience picks up on that gap. Not necessarily consciously. They don't necessarily think, oh, this person sounds like a chatbot, but they just feel like something's missing, they don't make a connection, and they move on. Identity clarity isn't about being louder or more controversial. It's about being more specifically yourself. It means that your audience could pick up your content out of a lineup without even seeing your name on it. It means you have opinions about your industry that you actually voice. Not in a performative way, but because it comes from real experience and real conviction. It means that when someone reads your caption or listens to your podcast or watches your reel or TikTok, they feel that they know the person behind it. So the practical way to test this is to look at your last 10 pieces of content and ask yourself, could anybody else in my industry have posted this? If the answer is yes, for most of them, that's your signal. Not that your niche is wrong, it's just that your voice hasn't shown up yet. The entrepreneurs who are converting now aren't the ones with the most perfectly targeted niche statements. They are the ones whose audiences feel like they know them. Like they've been in a conversation with them for months, even if they only found them last week. That's what a clear identity does. It creates instant familiarity, and familiarity is what converts. So how do you build identity clarity when you've been focused on niche clarity for far too long? All right, so first, we're going to start by separating the two in your content. One piece of content can do the niche work. It can speak directly to a specific pain point for a specific person. A different piece of content can do the identity work. It can share a genuine opinion, tell a real story, take a position on something happening in your industry. Truthfully, you need both. Most people only do the first one. Your voice fingerprint is the specific phrases, rhythms, and positions that make your content unmistakably yours, and that gets built through identity work, not the niche work. Niche work tells people where to stand. Identity work gives them reasons to stay. And here's the thing about consistency that most people miss. Your audience doesn't necessarily need you to post more. They need you to post more specifically as yourself. One piece of content per week that sounds undeniably you is worth more than 5 pieces that could have been written by anyone else, including a chatbot. If you finish this episode and you still can't tell whether the problem is your message, your channels, or how you're showing up inside of them, that's exactly what a strategy session with me is designed to figure out. 90 minutes with your specific business, and you walk away knowing which layer to fix first. Link in the show notes if that sounds like something that you need. Thanks for listening today. This is The Strategic Entrepreneur.